Good day, everyone. I am Vicente Luna Calao. I am a graduate school student of the University of Santo Tomas in Manila, Philippines, and I would like to present to you the result of my research entitled Gastroeconomic Attraction Model for the Rice Terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras, a World Heritage Site. This research studied the factors in creating a sustainable gastronomic attraction model for the Philippine rice terraces. This research was anchored on four factors, namely local cuisine attraction, local and marketing strategies, local economic benefits, and government tourism regulations. The rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras is actually clustered in four. These are Batad Rice Terraces, Embangaan Rice Terraces Cluster, Mayoyo Rice Terraces Cluster, Hungduan Rice Terraces Cluster, and Nagakadan Rice Terraces Cluster. Fortunately, all of these are actually located in the Cordillera Administrative Region. So this map shows where the Philippine rice terraces are located. So it's actually found in the middle part of the island of Luzon. As to the research problem, the research aims to develop a gastronomic attraction model anchored on four variables that I have mentioned a while back. The study pursues to answer the main question, what marketing plan and tourism framework of action can be adopted towards the creation of a sustainable gastronomic attraction model for the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras World Heritage Site. Phase 1 of the research asks the central question, how do the socio-demographic factors, food-related personality traits, and motivational factors relate to the Filipino cuisine attraction of tourists? Phase 2 central question asks, what are the existing marketing stratagems adopted by local government units at the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras World Heritage Sites? Phase 3 central question states, in what way can the food serving micro, small, and medium scale enterprises, the MSMEs, economically benefit from the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras World Heritage Site tourism activities? The fourth central question asks, to what extent does government regulations on accreditation, local government units involvement, and World Heritage Site benefits contribute to the formulation of a tourism framework of action in the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras World Heritage Site? As to the hypothesis of this study, the study has 5 hypotheses which will be discussed later in the presentation. This illustration summarizes what I would like to achieve with my research. By gathering data on the local cuisine attraction and marketing strategies, a marketing plan can be formulated for the rice terraces World Heritage Sites. By studying the economic benefits of MSMEs and government tourism regulations, a tourism framework can be crafted leading to the creation of a World Heritage Site gastronomic attraction model, which would eventually make the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras a leading tourism destination. At this part, I would like to skip some of the slides and move forward so I could discuss the result of the study. So I'll just scroll this part of my presentation so we could talk about the results of the research. So for the first phase of the study, the question asked was, what are the socio-demographic profile of tourists visiting the rice terraces of the Cordilleras? So in terms of gender, out of 343 respondents, 62.4 were female. As to the level of education, the table would show that majority of the respondents were literate. As to the nationality, most of the respondents were Filipinos since the survey was conducted when the schools were on academic break. In the Philippines, when schools are on academic break, people tend to go on vacation. As to the monthly income, 36.7 were within the classification of average daily workers earning $500 per month. As to the age of the respondents, 43.1% were between the age of 18 to 30 years old, with 22.4% between the age of 31 to 40 years old. As to the occupation of the respondents, 50.4 were employed and 27.4 were students. As to marital status, 61.5 of the respondents were single, while the rest were married. As to the question, what are the food-related personality traits of tourists visiting the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras? When we talk about food-related personality traits, we refer to two things: food neophilia and food neophobia. Food neophilia refers to the willingness to eat unfamiliar food items. Food neophobia refers to the unwillingness to eat unfamiliar food items. In order to answer this question, the respondents were asked three specific questions. The first question asked about their willingness to try new food items, and 98% said that they are very much willing to try new food items. 6 items were listed on a 5-point Likert scale ranging from 1 to 5. The mean score of the study discloses that tourists were much willing to consume all the other exotic food items except dog meat and snake. This table shows the willingness of tourists to eat common local cuisine. Based on a 5-point Likert scale, tourists showed much willingness to continue to consume local cuisine. Based on responses on the 3 specific questions, we can say that tourists were much willing to consume new food items, showing behavior of food neophilia. Regarding this question, what motivates tourists to consume local cuisines at the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras? By utilizing frequency counts, the 2 top reasons were exciting experience and authentic experience, followed by learning knowledge as the 3rd top reason. As to the first null hypothesis, there are no significant differences in the tourist local cuisine attraction with respect to their socio-demographic factors. Using chi-square test, table shows that there are significant differences in tourist local cuisine attraction when grouped by educational level and nationality. The 2 variables have identical p-values of 0.00, which is lower than the acceptable level of confidence of 0.05. Thus, the hypothesis is rejected. As to the second hypothesis, there are no significant relationship between the tourist local cuisine attraction and food-related personality traits. Using Pearson correlation coefficient, the p-values were equivalent to 0.00. Thus, the hypothesis is rejected. This means that there is significant relationship between local cuisine and food-related personality traits. As to the third hypothesis, there are no significant relationships between the tourist local cuisine attraction and the motivational factors. Using Pearson chi-square test, it indicates that there is significant relationship between exciting experience and authentic experience. Therefore, the hypothesis is rejected. Tourists are motivated to consume local food to experience something new. As to this question, what are the existing local government units' marketing strategies in promoting the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras? The findings show that local government units do not have an existing exclusive tourism marketing plan. The marketing plans are usually embedded in the tourism development plan, and usually promotions are done through brochures, festivals, expositions, word of mouth, and through social media, more specifically using Facebook. How can local cuisine attraction be used in promoting the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras? The 4 municipalities where the rice terraces are located have various ways of promoting rice terraces through local cuisines. The most common is to conduct cultural festivals using food as one of the features, such as the following. So this is in Banawe, Fugao. This is still in Banawe. This is still in Kiangan. This is in Kiangan also. This is in Mayuyao. This is in still in Mayuyao. This is in Bongduan. As to this question, what are the perceptions of the food serving MSMEs towards the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras? All respondents perceive that inscription in the World Heritage List would have much help in the local community, much help in terms of commercial growth, employment, and infrastructure projects and programs. What are the costs and expenses of food serving MSMEs in the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras? Based on this table, majority spend between 1,000 to 2,000 pesos, which is equivalent to $17 to $34 for the preparation of food items to be sold daily or every day. This is a small amount since most respondents operate small stalls. How much profit is gained by the food serving MSMEs in the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras? Based on the result of the study, most food serving MSMEs earn a profit between $8 to $17 only. So that is, in order to augment this very small profit, they sell grocery items, vegetables, bakery products, souvenirs, and liquors in their stalls. As to the fourth null hypothesis, there is no significant relationship between the perception of food serving MSMEs and economic benefits of tourism. Using Pearson correlation, the table shows that it has a correlation of 0.272, which means that it has a moderate correlation. However, with a p-value of 0.132, we can say that the relationship between the two variables are statistically insignificant. Therefore, we accept the hypothesis. As to the fifth hypothesis, there is no significant relationship between the costs and expenses of food serving MSMEs and economic returns to the food servers themselves. As shown in this table, Pearson correlation was used. It has a correlation of 0.386, which means that it has moderate correlation. However, with a p-value of 0.029, we can say that the relationship between the two variables are statistically significant. The hypothesis, therefore, is rejected. As to the question on what are the accreditation standards to qualify as a World Heritage Site, the site must be of outstanding universal value and meet at least one of the 10 selection criteria. For the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras, it was able to satisfy 3 criteria. So these are the criteria that the Philippine Rice Terraces was able to satisfy. And what are the roles of the local government units in accreditation of World Heritage Sites? Accreditation is usually managed by the Department of Tourism. Tourism enterprises need to secure accreditation from the Department of Tourism before business permits are issued. So the role of the local government units is limited to the issuance of business permits, licenses, and others. What are the benefits of being a recognized World Heritage Site? So these are the benefits. There will be increased tourist arrivals, rise in number of homestays, employment, and influx of government assistance. As to the recommendations, I would recommend these two: marketing strategies and tourism framework of action. As to the marketing strategies, there should be heightened utilization of social media. Make use of rice cycle tourism. Use heritage branding, graphic storytelling, conservation campaign, and in terms of tourism framework of action, there should be community-based tourism, preservation of cultural heritage, environmental sustainability, transportation and accessibility, and sustainable tourism management and regulations. That should also include collaboration with non-government organizations. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you for listening.